Introduction. Today, we are going to delve into the topic of chemical hazards and controls. This is crucial for our safety in the workplace as we handle various chemicals. Let's explore how we can identify hazards and implement effective controls. Let's outline the key contents. Know what you work with, understand the chemicals present and their associated risks. Perform hazard analysis. Identify potential hazards through comprehensive analysis. Routes of exposure. Recognize how chemicals can enter the body to implement appropriate controls. Hazards and precautions. Tailor precautions to mitigate specific chemical risks. Be ready with controls. Utilize engineering, administrative, and personal protective controls. Store chemicals properly. Follow proper storage practices to minimize risks. Understand and use GHS and NFPA. Interpret chemical labels for effective hazard communication. Incident reporting. Promptly report chemical incidents for safety and prevention. Emergency response. Establish clear procedures for handling chemical emergencies. Conclusion. Prioritize safety through understanding, preparation, and continuous improvement. Know what you work with. Chemical hazards pose risks to our health and safety. It's important to recognize these hazards to minimize potential harm. Hazards can include toxicity, flammability, corrosiveness, reactivity, and more. Understanding the properties of the chemicals we work with is the first step in mitigating these risks. Perform hazard analysis. We must be aware of the chemicals present in our workplace and their associated hazards. This includes knowing the most frequently used, highest quantity, and most hazardous chemicals. By maintaining a comprehensive list and referring to safety data sheets, SDS, we can identify potential hazards and take necessary precautions. Routes of exposure. Chemicals can enter the body through various routes, including inhalation, ingestion, and skin contact. Understanding how these routes of exposure occur helps us implement appropriate controls. For example, wearing respiratory protection when handling airborne chemicals or using personal protective equipment to prevent skin contact. Hazards and precautions. Each chemical hazard requires specific precautions to minimize risk. For instance, corrosive chemicals may require gloves and eye protection. Flammable chemicals necessitate proper storage and handling to prevent fires. Toxic chemicals may require respiratory protection and ventilation. Be ready with controls. Engineering controls. Engineering controls are physical measures designed to eliminate or reduce chemical hazards at the source. Examples include ventilation systems to remove airborne contaminants, enclosures or barriers to contain hazardous materials, and automated processes to minimize manual handling. Administrative controls. Administrative controls involve procedures and policies to minimize exposure to chemical hazards. This can include implementing strict handling protocols, establishing designated work areas for chemical handling, and rotating tasks to limit prolonged exposure. Personal protective equipment, PPE. Personal protective equipment, PPE, serves as a final line of defense against chemical hazards. Examples of PPE include respirators to protect against inhalation hazards, gloves, aprons, and goggles to shield against contact hazards, and protective clothing to prevent skin exposure. Store chemicals properly. Proper chemical storage is essential to prevent accidents and minimize risks. Chemicals should be stored according to their properties and compatibility. For example, flammable liquids should be stored in approved flammable storage cabinets, and corrosive substances should be kept separate from other materials. Understand and use the GHS and NFPA. Chemical labeling is crucial for conveying important safety information. We use the Globally Harmonized System (GHS) and NFPA Diamond to label chemicals. The GHS provides standardized symbols and phrases to indicate hazards, while the NFPA Diamond uses color-coded sections to represent specific hazards such as health, flammability, reactivity, and special hazards. Incident reporting. Immediate response. Your first priority is safety. If there's a chemical incident, focus on preventing further harm to yourself and others. Notify supervisor. Let your supervisor know right away about the incident so they can take appropriate action. Complete report. Fill out an incident report form accurately, providing all the necessary details about what happened. Submit. Send the completed report to the designated person or department responsible for handling such incidents. Follow up. Be ready to cooperate with any investigations into the incident and learn from what happened to prevent similar incidents in the future. Emergency response. Precision precautions for chemical risks. Eye and body wash showers. Know where these are and how to use them. If there's a chemical spill, go to the nearest shower and use it for 15 to 20 minutes to wash off any chemicals. Windsock locations. Be aware of where the windsocks are. If there's a chemical emergency, follow the instructions to evacuate using the windsocks as directed. Stay alert. Even though we try to control chemical hazards, emergencies can still happen. If you see any potential hazards or spills, report them to your supervisor right away. Know evacuation routes. Learn the routes you need to take to leave the building safely in case of an emergency. Contain spills. If you come across a spill or leak, follow the established procedures to contain it safely and prevent it from spreading. Training drills. Participate actively in training drills so you know what to do in case of an emergency and can respond effectively. Conclusion. In conclusion, understanding chemical hazards and implementing effective controls are vital aspects of ensuring a safe workplace. By identifying hazards, implementing appropriate controls, providing training, and continuously improving our processes, we can protect ourselves and each other from harm. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions or would like further clarification, please feel free to ask. Let's prioritize safety in all our endeavors. Stay safe.
This is all about today's topic. Thanks for watching Funny EHS Info. And don't forget to subscribe our channel to get immediate notification of our videos. Share our videos to your friends and colleagues to create safety awareness. If you have any questions and requirements, please comment in comment box.